this video, we will show you how to fit the door frame for hinged doors. We will show you how to secure the door frame to your polytunnel on both soil and solid bases. In this video, we will show you how to fit doors that open inwards. If you would like your doors to open outwards, then this can only be done once the polytunnel cover has been fitted. We will show you how to achieve this at the end of the video. Here are the parts you'll need. The door frame comprises of 3 pieces of 100mm by 47mm by 3m timber, which are the 2 door frame posts and 1 door frame lintel. The remaining pieces supplied in the pack are 19mm by 38mm by 1.8m battens, which are used later when fitting your polytunnel cover. Start by running a taut string line across the width of your polytunnel on the end hoop. Ensure the string line runs on the outer face of the hoops. You will use this string line to make sure your door frame is flush with the end of the polytunnel. Determine the centre of your polytunnel width by measuring 9 feet from the corner hoop from the centre of the tube. From this central position, measure 1.14 metres towards each corner hoop. This identifies the position of your doorposts. If you are fitting your polytunnel onto an earth base, you will be required to excavate a hole 30 cm square and 40 cm deep. If fitting to a solid base such as concrete or timber, the door frame post will be secured to the ground using brackets. Reposition the door frame post into the hole or onto the solid base, ensuring the front face of the post is behind the string line. Ensure the door frame post is positioned 1.14 metres from the centre mark to the inside of the door frame post. Use a spirit level to make the doorpost vertically level. Mark where the doorpost meets the hoop and cut the post on this mark. Reposition the doorpost. Fit a P-clip onto the hoop. Both prongs of the P-clip should run down the outer face of the doorpost where it is held in place with bolts. Using a 9mm wood drill bit, drill a hole on the marks through the timber. Push a bolt through the P-clip and drilled holes so that the thread is on the inside of the polytunnel. Loosely secure with a washer and nut. Adjust your door frame post so that the front face touches the string line. The inner edge of the door frame post is 1.14 metres from the centre and is vertically level. Once you are happy with the position, secure the P-clip in place with a self-drilling screw. Now we will secure the bottom of the door frame post. If on soil, backfill the hole with concrete. We suggest using concrete that is 1 part cement and 5 parts aggregate. We also recommend postcrete. This ready-made mix is supplied in 20kg bags, requires no mixing, you simply add water. Approximately 2 bags per hole will be required. If on a solid base, fix the base of the plate to the floor using shield anchors for concrete or coach screws for timber. Position the door frame post plate on the ground on the inside of your polytunnel. Make a mark through the centre hole, then remove. If on a concrete base, drill a hole 7 cm deep using a 14mm masonry drill bit. Separate the bolt and washer from the sleeve and insert through the hole in the door frame post plate and then screw on the sleeve. Locate the shield anchor into the hole and firmly tighten using a 17mm spanner. If on a timber base, drill a pilot hole 5 cm deep using a 7mm timber drill bit. Finally, screw the plate to the doorpost using the screws provided. We will now fit a door to one of the doorposts. Ensure you have left the concrete for an adequate amount of time to set. Position the T-hinge internally onto the door frame post. Ensure the chamfered holes are visible. Use the screws provided in the commercial door frame kit to secure the hinge to the doorpost. Position the door, ensuring there is enough ground clearance for the door to fully open and close. With the first doorpost and door fitted, we will move on to fit the second. Measure the width of your door and make a note. The inside of the second doorpost should be positioned at a distance which is the width of your door plus 5mm away from the first door. Position the doorpost in the hole or onto the solid base, ensuring the front face is behind the string line. Ensure that the bottom of the doorpost is the measurement of your door plus 5mm away from the first door. We add 5mm to ensure that there is room between the two doors to allow for expansion. Adjust the doorpost so it is vertically level whilst ensuring the bottom stays in position. Make a mark where the doorpost meets the hoop and cut on this mark. Reposition the door frame post. Recheck the measurements and that it is level. Once you are happy, secure the top of the door frame post to the hoop with a P-clip. Firmly tighten and then secure the P-clip in place with a self-drilling screw. Ensure that the bottom of the doorpost is in the correct position and then secure to the ground using concrete, shield anchors or coach screws. Have one person position the door tight up to the doorpost and at the height of the first door, and secure in place by screwing the hinges onto the doorpost. We are now ready to fit the door frame lintel. Before doing so, double check that both doors open and close nicely, ensuring they both have enough ground clearance. You will be required to cut the door frame lintel so that it fits between the doorposts. Offer the door frame lintel up, position one end flush with the doorpost, and make a mark at the other end where the lintel needs cutting, and cut. Reposition the lintel, ensuring there is a 5mm gap between the top of the doors and the bottom of the lintel. Use a 4mm wood drill bit to drill a pilot hole. Use a 150mm screw to secure the doorpost. Repeat at the other side. The joints can now be reinforced with nail plates on both sides. Position a nail plate equally across the joint and secure in place with twisted nails. We will now fit a door frame stabiliser. The door frame stabiliser spans from the central ridge to the inside of the door frame lintel. Door frame stabilisers are 61 cm long and are flat on both ends, with one end bent at 45 degrees. Fit a Q-clip to the central ridge. Locate the flat end of the door frame stabiliser to the Q-clip on the central ridge and loosely secure in place with a bolt and nut, ensuring the bent end is correctly orientated to be secured to the door frame lintel. Now drill a hole through the centre of the door frame lintel. Slide the door frame stabiliser along until it meets the inside face of the door frame lintel. Push a 75mm M8 bolt through the door frame lintel and the door frame stabiliser. Ensure that the threaded end of the bolt is on the inside of the polytunnel. Secure in position using a washer and nut. Adjust the Q-clip on the central ridge so that it is not pushing the door frame down nor pulling it up, and firmly tighten. The doors could damage the polytunnel cover when fully opened. Drive wooden stakes into the ground to prevent this. If you would like the doors to swing outwards, this process can be done after the polytunnel cover has been fitted. Remove the doors from the door frame and reposition the hinges, so they are on the outside of the door frame. The hinge will be screwed onto the batten of the door frame post upright. Longer screws will be required. You will need to source these screws yourself. If you do choose to have your doors opening outwards, ensure that you use a small strip of timber so that the door cannot blow inwards. Again, this timber will need to be sourced by yourself. Now we will fit the door drop spikes that keep your door from blowing in the wind. Door drop spikes are fitted to the outside face of the door on the opposite side to the hinges. Measure up from the bottom of the door 9 cm and make a mark. Position a door drop spike guide bracket so the bottom of the bracket is flush with this mark. Mark the position of the 2 slots in the bracket and across the top. Now reposition the bracket so the bottom of the bracket is flush with the top mark and mark the position of the 2 slots again. Using a 9mm wood drill bit, drill a hole through the door for the 4 slots. On the inside face of the door, insert pronged T-nuts into each hole. Bolt the 2 angled brackets onto the door with the slot on each bracket at the top. Close the door to the required position, slide the drop spike down through both brackets and mark the position on the ground. Open the door and bury the tube in the required position. If your polytunnel is on a hard base, the housing tube is not required. Simply drill a hole using a 9mm drill bit to an appropriate depth. Repeat this process on both doors. You can find more videos to help you build your polytunnel and construct.firsttunnels.co.uk. We also have a construction helpline if you require any further assistance.